Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday meditation gathering. I'm so glad you're all here to share this time together. Meditation gathers energy when we meditate together. This week, we have Cate Grieves, who will lead us in meditation, and then we'll have 20 minutes of silence. And after that, we'll open it up for sharing, and we end approximately 10:45. Over to you, Cate.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Thanks, everyone from Miracle Network, and thanks, everyone, for being here. I appreciate it. So this morning, I'm going to do another, this is, I think, my second or third meditation, and we're going to do one where we invite Jesus in again. So if everyone can close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. And this meditation is to help us to, Jesus says in A Course in Miracles that we need to forgive him. But what he means is we need to bring him in. We need to open our minds to his love and his wisdom and his help. So these meditations, if you do have some sort of experience of feeling unworthy to be with Jesus, they can loosen that just a little bit each time you do a meditation, where you move a little bit closer in your relationship with him. So I'm going to be reading from a book called The Two Gifts, and it was written by Helen Schuckman after she finished the course. It's called Out of the Gifts of God, and the section is called The Two Gifts. And this is, when I read it, it really felt like a beautiful meditation to take this group through. So first of all, let us just imagine meeting Jesus in whatever way you feel is comfortable for you. It might be that you're sitting in your house just having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea with him at the dining room table. Or it could be that you're out walking with him and you're just talking with him. Or it could be that you're sitting maybe on a picnic bench under a nice tree outside when the weather's really, really lovely and warm. It's a nice day. And you feel very relaxed and calm. And I want you to be in some sort of, if you are walking with him, I'd like you to sit down with him, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be facing Jesus in some way. You don't have to get a visual of all his form, but even if you can just sort of see something, feel something, you don't have to picture his face or his body, but just get a sense of something there that he's going to be speaking these words to you. So as I read these words, hear them as if Jesus is saying them to you. How can you be delivered from all gifts the world has offered you? How can you change these little cruel offerings for those that heaven gives and God would have you keep? Open your hands and give all things to me that you have held against your holiness and kept a slander on the Son of God. Practice with everyone you recognise as what it is. Give me these worthless things the instant that you see them through my eyes and understand their cost. Give them away these bitter dreams as you perceive them now to be but that and nothing more than that. Now I want you to imagine taking something, it can be just anything in your life that's currently upsetting you, a relationship, you might be in pain, you might have an illness, any idols or fears, any hatred that you're experiencing, any feeling that you've been unfairly treated. I want you to just feel what you'd like to give him. He's asking for the gift of all the things that hurt us. I take them from you gladly, laying them beside the gifts of God that he has placed upon the altar to his Son. And these I give to you to take the place of those you give to me in mercy on yourself. So we're giving the gift of what we don't want, and he's giving us the gift of God's love. So it's two gifts. That we're giving him the gifts we don't want. We're ready to release and give up. He's going to give us back the true gift. For as you lay them by you, reach to me, and I can come a saviour then to you. The gifts of God are in my hands to give to anyone who would exchange the world for heaven. You need only call my name and ask me to accept the gift of pain from willing hands that would be laid in mine, with thorns laid down and nails long thrown away, as one by one the sorry gifts of earth are joyously relinquished. In my hands is everything you want and need and hope to find amongst the shabby toys of earth. I take them all from you and they are gone, and shining in the place where once they stood, there is a gateway to another world through which we enter in the name of God. What I'd like for you to do in this meditation is to feel yourself giving all those things away to him. See his hands hold out in front of him and put them all, lay them there. He will put them on an altar. And then what I'd like you to do is see this beautiful round light in Jesus's hands, like a little ball of light, just sitting in his two open hands sitting out. And I want you to see this beautiful light. He's going to place it in your heart. He's going to light you up. He's going to put this light into you. So we're going to feel that as we sit quietly.
Open your eyes slowly and come back into the room. We have about 17 minutes left for sharing your reflections and your questions. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand or use the reactions button at the bottom of the screen, and I'll invite you to take yourself off of mute. And if you'd like to ask Kate a question or comment with confidentiality, put your message in the chat function at the bottom of the screen, and I'll read it out. Dennis.
Good day, Kate. Thank you for your reading and the mention of the book. Linda popped round yesterday for a cup of tea and said, "What would you like for your birthday?" Because my birthday's coming up soon. And I said, "I don't know, I'll ask." Well, the birthday present I want is The Gifts of God by Helen Shipman. Thank you.
That's beautiful to hear. There's it's quite a thick book. It's got the most beautiful prayers in them, and then right at the end is the actual little bit of text that I read from. One of the things that I was getting guided about when we were doing the meditation is when he gives us the light, when he sort of like puts it into our heart, you can just say, "I accept." And also I felt like he had his arms around all of us as a group as we were in that meditation. So I don't know whether anyone felt that too. It's really beautiful.
It's lovely. Okay, who would like to share? Lynn, please don't mute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. I just found that such a beautiful, powerful meditation. And I kind of started off handing, some things over. And then I realised that what really causes the pain and what I really want is forgiveness for preferring to be, or seemingly preferring to be, Lynn in the world, and not what Jesus is promising. And it is painful to think, why do I cling on so much to this identity and not just accept what I'm being offered? And when I then felt the light and stepped into the light, it was so healing. It felt so healing. And I just heard Jesus saying something like, you don't have to feel guilty for being here because you're here to heal. And it just felt so wonderful. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. And I've got The Gifts of God, so I'll go and read it again. Thank you.
That's lovely to hear, Lynn. Thank you. Catherine.
Thank you, Kate. It doesn't surprise me to hear that you were seeing us all in a big Jesus hug, because it really did feel like that. And what was interesting, I was like, oh, look, my mind is chattering and Jesus is here. Like one didn't stop the other, that kind of like, you know what, I don't have to do this perfectly to get the benefit. And I have the book, and I just wonder if you could tell me where it is exactly.
There's a section at the back called The Gifts of God. It's probably the last 20 pages, and there's But I'll tell you what page it's on in my book. It's on page 118.
The two gifts.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the idea is that we give him all the gifts, the things we don't want that we think we want. We think they're gifts, and he gives us this light. So I felt as I was preparing for the meditation that he brought that in. Now, there was a little meme going around a few years ago where people would offer, like there was these hands with light in them, and they pass the light on. That was sort of what I saw in my mind, was that he's passing that on to us, but not just putting it in our hands, he's putting it in our heart. So we can really feel this light coming within us, and maybe we can really feel this. I was starting to have sort of this light emulating and illuminating inside me. So, sorry, Catherine, I cut you off, but I felt to maybe just share that a little bit if you feel you want to do this meditation again on your own.
Thank you. What I was going to say is that because of the wording, I can now see the gifts the world has offered you. My mind went first to things that I perceive as gifts in the world. And then you suggested that we offer, as I took it anyway, discomfort, something we perceive as discomfort. So I just wanted to ask you, the other day, it happens quite often, and I know other people in the group talk about it, but the other day I went and sat with my flowers, and there were two little fuchsia coming down, little red droplets, and I was just so moved by the beauty. I'm feeling it now, just cried at the beauty of those flowers, and me being there with them. And so my question, I'd be interested to hear your view on, like, there's a beautiful hymn that says, "The love of the Lord is the essence of all that I love here on earth." Is that to you an experience of me finding beauty in the world in a way that would keep me from God? Or is it like I experience it as the beauty of God coming through the symbols of this world to me? Yeah, I'd just be interested on your view. Like,
yeah, the second one. And sometimes people, if you share that experience, people will say, "Oh, you're making the world real," and they don't understand that those experiences happened to me too. I started to become like something was opening up, and I started to sort of weep at the beauty of things, and even like little insects or spiders or flowers, birds, a sunset. So I started to, sometimes we have to let go of these concepts but when I actually went through a really, beautiful sort of awakening experience, I saw myself sitting in a rubbish dump, a tip, and just the smells were like perfume, and I was sort of going wee, and everything, all the rubbish was flying up, and it was like divine. It was just like, everything was beautiful. But it starts out that we find this absolute beauty in a flower or a little insect or a little bird or something in the world. That's why it's called the real world. And there's beautiful passages in the Course where he says, there'll be bird song or there'll be a flower. So what works in one way, we have to let go and see. We have to trust these experiences, Catherine. That's one of the things I've found as I've gone along, is how does it make you feel?
Mm.
And sometimes we have to let go of this idea, like, oh, was I in my ego? Was I making a flower real? Oh, the world's not real. It's not meant to be like that. We're meant to come to see the world differently. We're meant to come to see the beauty of it, and it will start to move into that everything is God, everything is divine, not its form, but something, because we're perceiving it through a holy mind. So of course we're going to see holiness because that's all we've got in our mind.
Thank you.
So,
And I can see Linda smiling, because I remember Linda once talking about the beauty of gasoline in a puddle, that the way it had, you know, rainbows in it. And yeah, and I've had that. I used to be severely disabled, and I've had moments where I was just lying there looking at the commode and all the things that I needed because I couldn't move, and just being in a place of total bliss, that it all is well and all is well, you know, like, yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Who'd like to share? I just want to say that, Dennis, I'm going to put that on my birthday list as well. I've got a birthday coming up quite soon, so it's a perfect gift. Thank you for the idea.
I'd just like to finish with, if we've got a few minutes, just this one paragraph, and I won't read it too slowly because I know we might be out of time. Father, we thank you for these gifts that we have found together. Here we are redeemed, for it is here we joined, and from this place of holy joining we will come to you, because we recognise the gifts you gave and would have nothing else. Each hand that finds its way to mine will take your gifts from me, and as we look together on the place whereon I laid your worthless gifts for you, we will see nothing but the gifts of God reflected in the shining round our heads. So he's really just saying that we are going to be the ones that give the gift away. So it's interesting, like the gifts of God, it's all about, you know, gift giving. And I have this idea that we're always giving the gift. Whenever we meet anyone, we're giving the gift giving. Someone's asking, could Catherine share the name of the hymn she mentioned?
Well, if you look up the lyrics, the love of the Lord the love of my Lord, or the Lord is my essence of all that I love here on earth. All the beauty I see he has given to me, and his beauty is gentle as silence.
It's lovely. It's beautiful.
Kirsty, would you like to share?
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Kate. For me, there's always that old thing where, you know, it was a beautiful meditation. It went so quickly. Sometimes I find 20 minutes of silence to be a bit much for me, but this one, it just went in a flash. I couldn't believe it when the bell was being rung. But what I did find when I gave all the stuff to Jesus, and then Jesus was giving me this gift back. And of course, my ego was immediately suspicious of what sacrifice I was going to have to give. You know, what sacrifice? What's going to be asked of me now? What catastrophe is going to befall me if I take this gift? And I know it's ego, but it's nevertheless there. And I'm just wondering if you know what I'm talking about. It's like the fear of crucifixion or something. I'm out.
The only thing I can say is that he talks about that little gap, and it feels like that's what there's like a gap of fear between, like, he's holding out this light, wanting to place it in your heart, and you're fearful that his love, there's some sacrifice asked of you to have this beautiful divine love within you, this beautiful light. It's only for you, and you will naturally just shine this love out. So there's no sacrifice, but or it's up to you. No one can make you go past that little fear, Kirsty. You have to decide to just, in that moment, just say yes. And I think that's why I was guided throughout the meditation to say at the end, to just say, I accept, and just let him place that light in you and see, what have you got to lose, hey? What have you got to lose by just saying, I accept, and feeling that light and love be placed in you, this gift of love that he places with. So it's like if you feel this trust, that's why we have to develop trust. And we have to develop the trust in Jesus, because he's the one that leads us. So we need to develop that trust that he will keep us safe by his love. So, one of the things that he teaches us is there is no death. So there's no need to fear death. There is no death. He calls death living in fear. Anxiety, depression and illness. He says that's death. He says we're not living. So, that can help us say, well, I'm not living at the moment if I'm in fear and anxiety or sickness or discomfort or feeling unfairly treated. That's not life. That's not joy. So he says we're already dead when we're like that. And yet we fear this death, this moment, this sometime where the body just gets laid aside as, oh, that's death. And yet we live our whole lives dead. So he says, the spirit is life. When we accept this gift from him of light and love, we will live, which is what Catherine described as looking at the flower. That's life. That's incredible. That's what I started to experience, those experiences. And I'm sure people here have felt those experiences. And they're beautiful, holy instants, holy moments where we just feel something opening up. And that's really what's happening for us on our journey. We're opening up to more and more love. So, and yes, the ego will come back at times and try to give a story, but the ego just has to be, it's constantly, you've got no validity, ego. I trust Jesus. And that's why he says, we have to believe the course entirely or not at all. We can't hang on to some part of this world as our safety. We have to give our lives to this love. And he wants us to. And he did it. And he didn't die. Yes, he was crucified, but he didn't die. He's still alive now. You can feel him in this group, in the meditation. Where is he? No, he's alive. Might not be in a body. But so, this is a way to investigate and have another way of perceiving the situation, to constantly question and inquire what our fear is. We have to look at our fear with him. It doesn't go away unless we look at it. He asks us very much to look specifically at everything that we're worried about with him. Just bring it up. Don't push it down. Bring it up and look at it with him. It's important to not, forget things because they just keep coming around. We have to face everything. We have to face everything, but we face it with him, the Holy Spirit or Jesus, not on our own. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.
And in the chat window, there's something from Catherine. She says, search for the love of my Lord is the essence. And with that, we'll wrap this morning up and take yourself off of mute and show your appreciation to Kate.
Thank you very much.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Lovely
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you for the
Thank
Jesus
you.
Thank you,
hug,
Kate.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As
Bye.
always.
So
Thank
much.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.